What's up, y'all? Smike in the building. It's been a little while since I've done a finance video. I've got a lot of stuff actually. It took me a little longer to put this together than I thought. I'm just gonna cover a month's worth of things just in case I don't get around to doing another one. So I want to start off by thanking Arya and Tyler for watching the finance videos, finding them interesting, and supporting that. I still want to know what Tyler's net worth is. I felt like it was inappropriate to ask him when we were talking about it, but I need to know. So, Tyler, go ahead and comment below with your net worth. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that, please. Um, yeah, if you like finance videos, like and subscribe. I'm going to try and do these a little more regularly. At least monthly. Just kind of go over like catalysts and what I'm doing, what's going on. Right now, I'm in an excruciating pain with this here, so it's not looking good. Yeah, so I'm gonna do the normal things, go over my net worth here, just do a check-in. The first net worth video I did, I talked about how using your net worth can be really good as kind of a benchmark to just see how your how you're progressing toward financial goals, paying off debt, and growing your money through investments. It's been very difficult to do the second thing that I just mentioned recently because it feels like there's just no safe place. Like I feel like my strategy lately has been like go to the bank, take out a couple $100, come home, roll out the barrel from the garage, fill it with gas, throw the cash in there, and that's been my strategy pretty much. Just yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna blow through these here. So I've got $570 in cash. All of my accounts, checking, savings. I have two checking and one savings. I recently started using my secondary checking as kind of like my investment account. I'm not going to get too specific about that in this video, but there's going to be a couple other things that come up in regard to that. But I think I'll probably go in depth on that once things are a little more clear. I had my house appraised in February at 165. My car is probably worth about the same. I barely drive my car, which is kind of nice with how crazy gas is. It was 419 today. It's just wild. Stocks have been taking a huge beating. It's probably the biggest swing. I mean, my bank accounts probably swing like a couple grand up and down every month, just from getting paid and paying bills and investing and things like that. Yeah, I mean, at its height, I think I was at like 12 or 13 grand in stocks in my Robinhood portfolio anyway. So that's just taken a total dump. Crypto is also like very recently, like the past like I mean, I guess just this week, it's been really brutal. I think I have maybe like 5 grand invested, and now the value is 3,500. It's obviously not great. My Fidelity account had been over 100,000 at some point. I'm at 91. It just like it hit a point sometime in 2021 where it just stopped growing and just would like reverse and then correct and start going back up again, and it's just floating in this channel basically between 90 and 100, even though I'm still adding to it, which is frustrating. I've got my mortgage, which I think I might have mentioned in the I don't think I mentioned that actually, because I don't think I did a net worth video for April. I did a cash out refinance, so that's why the mortgage is higher, but that's why I have more in my checking accounts. Yeah, so my total assets 315, my total liabilities 127, just the mortgage. Oops. And then I do have this. I just put this separately. This is kind of like a loan. that I made, and I should be getting that back at some point. So I'm just kind of including it. Um, so that would be on the assets side really, but I didn't. I guess when I made this, I didn't know where to put it. I guess it could go here. Something. Um, yeah. So net worth, geez, yeah, it dropped a lot. I was hoping for just like a couple grand. I've been trying to like focus on that, but there's only so much you can do, and the market's just bleeding out. Yeah, I think the Nasdaq has had the worst year since like in its history, the worst start to a year in its history. It's down like I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong number. I feel like I've heard like 20. Which one lets you? Is it Google Finance? I think you can highlight parts of the chart and it'll tell you the difference between the peak and the bottom. Okay, so let's go. I guess just here. Well, year to date, yeah, yeah, down 22% year to date. That's 4 months. It's crazy. Rough. Okay. Another thing I added to the net worth thing is this neat little graph. So I'm gonna just make this equal the net worth for May. Oh yeah, look at that. So I guess that's one of the worst drops I've had. This looks kind of bad. I didn't even realize I went up at some point this year. Hmm. Yeah, that's awful. Okay. So we went through the net worth. I was going to go over my goals. I forgot to do that spreadsheet. I'm not going to pull that up because it's probably a mess. One of them was to increase my net worth, I think. I can't remember if that was a quarterly goal or a monthly goal. It's probably on both. I used to have like price targets, or like how much I'd want to, like a value that I'd want to increase it, and now it's just like as long as it's in the positive, it's fine. But I can't even get that, so definitely brutal. I think the other thing I wanted to just start running, like get into a regular routine. The one goal was just run a mile 7 days this month. I did that. I think, yeah, I ran 7 times. Next month, I'm going to try and run 14 days. And then after that, I just want to try and run as many days as possible. And obviously, increase the distance. Then I wanted to do abs and push ups every day, like for a certain percentage. I met that goal. I wanted to just read a book this month. I did that. I think that's it. There might have been other things. Record 2 songs. So yeah, that's kind of why I've been shying away from these finance videos. I've been working on music a lot. I'm trying to have an album put together by the summer, uh, and it's just a lot of work. We have 11 tracks right now, so I'm not even working on one at a time. We're just like bouncing around between ideas. So, all right. I wanted to go over upcoming catalysts and just kind of like the state of the economy and what's going on. In March, the Federal Reserve voted on a 25 basis point hike for interest rates. That was the first one we've seen so far. Now that they're kind of going into the tightening portion of the cycle to combat inflation. I wanted to check on mortgage rates because that is kind of like directly impacting that. What I'm about to pull up now, I'm going to go over at the end of the video. So if you're wondering what the hell this is, I'll explain it in a little bit. So this is what I usually use to check on mortgage rates. There's a couple that I use. I think this is the main one. Yeah, so we're sitting just above 5% on the 30-year. I'd like to, okay, this is already zoomed in, I guess. So it's kind of been, where was that hike? What did I say? It was in the middle of March. Maybe somewhere around here. So you can kind of see where it starts going up right around Their meeting was somewhere in here where they voted on that increase. So it went up, and now it's kind of plateaued. And I have a feeling that's probably going to change. That's why these catalysts, I think, are important to keep an eye on. I mean, even if you're not an investor, like say you're just trying to buy your first house, and you're kind of wondering what's going to be going on with rates. I'm far from an expert, but even just looking at this, it seems like if we're going to have another hike, which I think is absolutely like a, it's a sure thing. It's just the amount. It's gonna push this higher. So I would keep an eye on that. I mean, that's just my assumption. So the next FOMC meeting where they're going to be voting on the next hike is May 3rd and 4th. So that's a date to keep an eye on. The market's definitely going to react to that. Another thing I wanted to look at in regard to that date is the Fed watch tool. I don't know what CME stands for. I guess that's just who compiles this. This kind of looks at, provides the latest probabilities of the FOMC rate moves. I don't know where this data comes from, to be honest, but it's interesting to look at because the last time I looked at this before the previous rate hike, and I think it was, honestly, I don't remember. I don't know if you can look back. Historical. So we would want to look here, right? So leading up to that, I don't know. This is kind of tough to read. The market, it looks like the market was pricing in 50 to 70 basis points kind of leading up to the first meeting. So they were a little high, which is good because this is a little concerning, I think. This is kind of high. I thought when I was writing all this up, I was writing that it was likely going to be a 50 basis point hike, 0.5%. And this is saying that the target probability, rate probability is 75 to 100. I've heard rumblings of 75 basis points. I don't know. It just seems kind of jarring to me. I feel like 25 or more likely it's 50, but who knows? This is just interesting to look at. But it seems like they were a little high on the high side last time. So maybe that's the case this time. I don't know. Then we've got April jobs report on May 6th. These are all things that the market usually reacts to. So I just kind of have them in a calendar. In my calendar as market, like it's just a market catalyst calendar that's in my thing there, and it's just kind of good when you see crazy market swings. You look at the calendar, you're like, oh, okay, well that report came out today. That might be what's going on. May 9th is Victory Day. There's some speculation that this could play a role in the Ukraine and Russia crisis. So I'm really curious to see if that has any merit at all. It'd be great if that could come to an end. May 11th, you have April CPI data. That's really important because it's going to kind of give us an idea of where inflation's trending, and that dictates what the Federal Reserve is going to do, what kind of basis point hikes they're going to use, and what they're going to do with the balance sheet. May 24th, the Fed minutes release is happening. And I also just wanted to comment on shrinking GDP growth in Q1 of 2022. So that's halfway to a technical recession. Recessions technically are just 2 consecutive quarters of shrinking GDP growth. We've had one already. If we have another one, we're technically in a recession. The other thing that people talk about a lot is the yield curve inverting. I think that's happened twice and it's been very fast. So some people are shrugging it off and saying that no, I mean that's not really a good indicator because it's not static or like staying there. Um, just something to consider. Um, and then what I'm doing, like I said, I'm just basically taking money and throwing it in the fire pit. I mean, it's really painful. But I think whenever the market turns around, if it's this year, next year, and the next 2 or 3 years, I think it's gonna pay off. I mean, I don't need this money at the moment, really. I just I always invest what I can afford to lose. So although it stings, I think it's going to be worthwhile. I'm currently dollar cost averaging, and I change these all the time. I started getting into Tesla, which is probably, who knows if that's a really stupid thing, but I'm throwing $5 at it every market day. It's not like a lot of money. I'm daily. I'm buying $5 worth of Berkshire Hathaway, Coinbase, Tesla, and like a Vanguard high yield dividend ETF. And then I'm slowly going to be starting to just keep cash in Robinhood. Just I don't know. I guess maybe if there's like a clear bottom, then I can, or if things start turning around, I can just start buying up larger quantities of things. I'm also bolstering my savings account for an emergency fund, just because of I I don't know if talks of recession are really the reason. It's more for the big investment plans that I have. Um, I just don't want anything to come up that's going to really affect that or make it so that it's not going to happen. So I like having that buffer to keep my credit intact and to just not have to stress about pushing things further back in time that I'd like to. So that's really what that's all about, because you'll hear people talking all the time about how hoarding cash in a high inflationary environment is basically just, again, like throwing money in a fire pit. Um, doing the same thing with crypto, dollar cost averaging, but I'm doing it in weekly purchases, buying Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, and Atom. I recently started staking my ADA, or my Cardano, which seems to be doing pretty well. Also staking Atom, and I think I'm staking Ethereum. To be perfectly honest with you, the Ethereum and Ethereum 2.0 thing is kind of confusing me. So it actually could be kind of interesting if anybody's watching this that's a big crypto nerd and would like to chat about crypto. It could be actually really cool to like have a call and maybe have someone just explain the Ethereum 2.0, and maybe talk with me about staking and maybe like the best places to stake, or if it's a good or bad idea, and depending on the coin, whether it's a good or bad idea. That stuff could be kind of interesting. Um, oh, and then the last thing is the financial resource guide, the thing I mentioned earlier that I was going to talk about. I was hesitant to start sharing this just because it's not done, but I have a feeling I'm never going to feel like it's done. I'm trying to just compile all of these things in one place, where if you're doing something like this and you want to look at mortgage rates, and then you want to look at the CME Fed Watch tool, and you want to see the yield curve, and then you want to look at, like, you hear the word ETF and you're like, wait, what does that mean? You could kind of just come over here and take a look. So there's going to be terms, like just definitions of basic things, different indexes and indicators, and then I have different bank accounts. I think most of these are online only. Like, extra is nice if you have really beat up credit and you're trying to build it, but you can't get a credit card. This is nice because it basically is a debit card. And I got some exchanges. I have a lot of work to do here. Same with commodities. Like, it's really, this is just the beginning of this thing. There's tons of stuff I have to define still. I put a couple books in here that I think are just like generally good in the world of finance. So I think I'm going to link this. I don't know. I'm hesitant to make it editable, but if you feel that something is incorrect, or you feel like something should be added, just reach out to me, or comment or whatever. If you comment, I'll see it, and I'll add it or fix whatever needs to be fixed. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. This is kind of just like a general update. Um, Let me know how your net worths are faring with the approaching recession potentially, and just the crazy volatile environment we're in. And let me know if you have any interesting strategies. If you're doing options or shorts or investing in like kind of inverse products. Like I was looking at SARC for a while, and I'm kind of like punching myself because I bought in a little bit and then sold because I thought we were having a turnaround, and we definitely were not. So I feel like I missed out on some money there. Uh, I might still keep an eye on it, but you got to be careful with that because I feel like you could kind of get burned. So yeah, let me know. Give me any kind of feedback on this. Let me know if there's stuff that you just don't care about, or if there's things that you feel like I missed, or if I'm just kind of misinformed on something. I'm not claiming to be an expert, so yeah, hope to hear from you guys. Please like and subscribe if you can. Have a good one.